Hello and welcome to the BrightSourced webinar, where we are going to be sharing information on a new concept in e-procurement technology and consultancy, providing businesses with accelerated ROI and best-in-class strategies. I'm Helen Rose and I spend my time interviewing businesses in the supply chain space who offer something effective and different from what is already available, and that's why I'm delighted to be talking with Simon Smith, a leading expert in e-procurement and co-founder of BrightSourced, a new and fresh approach to an e-consultancy practice. We realise as procurement executives you have limited time, so we aim to keep this interview to a short time frame. In a moment I'll introduce Simon Smith, but first I wanted to give you an overview of what to expect from today's session. First, we'll look at what led to the creation of BrightSourced, in a market that is already crowded with lots of software and consultancy solutions. Then we will discuss the services that BrightSourced provides and why they are different from the other offers in the market today. And finally, finishing with why BrightSourced can be integrated seamlessly into your day-to-day activities and pay for itself over an accelerated timescale. So with that in mind, I think the best place for us to start is by introducing BrightSourced co-founder Simon Smith, and start by asking the question, so what led you to starting up BrightSourced?
Thanks for that, Helen, and hello to everyone. So the best way to answer your first question is to give you a quick overview of our history. Both I and my business partner have worked for some of the leading global procurement consultancies and in purchasing departments in FTSE 250 organisations. During our time spent working for one of the pioneers of e-procurement, Trading Partners, we oversaw in excess of over 2,000 e-tenders, saving companies around £2 billion in total. So having seen the returns it provides, if delivered effectively of course, it left us confused as to why e-procurement had not been adopted as a standard practice by businesses. So having left Trading Partners, we decided to ask the question to leading procurement executives. The question was, why has e-procurement not lived up to its expectations? There were many answers, but some of the most common statements included, the returns don't outweigh the outlay. We bought the software, but we never used it, and e-consultants are too expensive. So having collated these comments, we asked ourselves, are these impressions correct, or are they just misconceived and just a reaction to the lack of exposure to this method of procuring? We had to conclude that with what was available in the marketplace today, all these points are valid. So yes, they were correct. So what we found was for those who have bought the software to manage in-house, the software is complex, and if it is used, only a fraction of the functionality is needed, which means they are overpaying for what they really need. To run a successful tender does take time and experience, different to the experience needed to run a traditional tender. Add to this the time taken to manage and condition the suppliers that are involved in the process, it does become a daunting exercise. So those businesses who have gone down the route of outsourcing their e-procurement operation to an e-consultancy, for example, they tend to be paying more than what they need to, including finding the consultancies trying to take over what they are good at, which is the category expertise, especially when targeting their direct expenditure. Also, consultancies are not there to impart knowledge, as their existence revolves around keeping it a mystery from businesses. So, businesses continue to use them on an ongoing basis. This means outsourcing all your e-procurement needs is costly, and means you only tackle the bigger spends, when actually e-procurement can work for spends as low as £25,000 per year, which means more choice, and in the long run will give you more returns, without always looking to tackle the big and sometimes more complicated and risky spends. So with this in mind, we looked to see if we could set up a company to address this gap in the market and help e-procurement strategies be adopted more aggressively by businesses, whilst not only making it work for the larger FTSE 500 businesses, but also for the SME marketplace. The question we asked ourselves was, could these issues be addressed? Luckily, the answer is yes, and actually it's not rocket science. It just takes a business focused in addressing these needs. Ultimately, like with all things in life, you first need to learn to walk before you can run. So customers need a great platform to work with, training to show them how to use it, support to make sure they are doing it right, and ongoing guidance to make sure the momentum is maintained. In today's tough economic climate, everyone needs to watch the purse strings, and although there needs to be some invest to save strategies, businesses want to reduce the investment and accelerate the saving aspect. No one can afford for a 12 to 24 month payback right now. So therefore the solution needs to be about small investments initially with accelerated ROI, and then further investments can be supported by those savings banked. This led to BrightSourced being formed, a business focused on maximising your returns in eProcurement. And we do this through simple intuitive software, flexible support services, accelerated ROI, and we have built a business model that allows us to keep our fees transparent for our customers.
Thank you, Simon. It sounds like an exciting proposition. However, what services do you provide to do this, and how can you do it cost effectively while still maintaining a margin to ensure BrightSourced remains profitable?
That's a great question, Helen, and one that took a lot of thought in order to devise our business plan. Firstly, we believe stick to what you're good at and then keep looking to improve it. The founders of BrightSourced are at heart eProcurement specialists. We know what techniques work and what don't, and have used most of the software that is available in the marketplace today. However, what we are not are technical experts, so we have chosen to outsource our software development, with BrightSourced providing the ongoing advice on how to improve the software from a procurement exec's point, and our software partners developing the platform. We can offer the most price-competitive software in the market today and still make a margin ourselves. In terms of our support services, we have split the elements up from what is really needed to support an e-procurement exercise versus what starts to become category expertise, and the work a procurement executive can quite comfortably handle themselves. This way the customer pays less, as they are only paying for exactly the support they need, and as we are focusing on one aspect as opposed to trying to be a jack of all trades, we become more efficient ourselves and increase our own profitability whilst keeping customer costs low. As they become more self-sufficient, they can use less and less of our support, using us more for the time-consuming aspects such as supplier conditioning and event management, and using more of the technology themselves. Finally, we offer fixed costs, so our customers are not caught out by day rates getting out of control. So ultimately, we like to be flexible, transparent, and effective. As we don't have a lot of time today, I won't go into the minutiae details of our software and services, but I will talk you through the top level points. We have packaged our services to keep things simple to understand. Ultimately, we offer eSupport and eSupport Plus. eSupport gives you all the support needed to run an effective e-auction. The only thing we don't do is source the suppliers and provide the category expertise, as this is the area the client wants to control, as typically they know the category and the suppliers they would like to invite. However, we do help send out RFIs to their preferred suppliers and offer advice on how a particular category should be structured when running an e-auction. For customers who require the suppliers and the category expertise, we provide eSupport Plus. In terms of the software, it is much more effective to run through a proper demo. However, as we don't have the time for that today, the highlights are we offer two types of software, eTrader and eTrader Plus. eTrader is a great platform for customers who want an entry-level platform without all the bells and whistles, which is easy to use for both the buyer and the suppliers. It also works really well for those organisations who only want a few licenses. eTrader Plus is for those organisations who want a corporate licence and require all the bells and whistles. eTrader was built to be easy to use in the same way eBay is used by millions of people worldwide without a degree in maths required, or years of expertise in complex software management. The eTrader platform is intuitive, and users with very little training will be in a position to start tackling the less complex of tenders very quickly. The software is cloud-based, which in layman's terms means it does not have to be installed in-house and remains on a secured remote server, managed by us and accessible to you 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world. As mentioned, eTrader Plus offers everything eTrader offers and so much more, and is the solution our customers should go for when they are looking for a corporate license and have much more complex tender needs. Some of the advanced functionality includes access to full Dun & Bradstreet reports, allowing you to credit check those shortlisted suppliers, advanced RFI and RFP tools, including scoring and validation functions, and a fully customizable dashboard designed with your company logos and gives you the access to live data feeds, which include commodity indices, exchange rates, etc.
So earlier in your presentation, Simon, you mentioned that you focus on accelerated ROI and flexible service offerings. How have you structured your offer to deliver this?
Well, Helen, we have structured our packages in the following ways. Ultimately, it's all about choice for our customers. They can choose to just buy consultancy services without the need to purchase the software, or vice versa. Or, of course, they can buy both together. We then offer different types of consultancy services depending on exact requirements, and we do the same for the software options. Also, all of our consultancy options come with a 150% ROI guarantee, maximising our customers' returns in eProcurement.
Well, thank you, Simon. So to summarise what you have told us today, BrightSourced was founded by leading eProcurement specialists. You work with SME and FTSE 500 organisations. You can tackle spends as low as $25,000 per year. You offer both the support and the software, and you guarantee an ROI of 150% on their initial investment. Does that sound about right?
Yes, that sounds great, so thank you for that. The only other thing I would like to add is should any of your listeners want more information or prices on what it will cost them to use our services, then they can contact us at info@brightsourced.com. That is info@brightsourced.com.
Thank you, Simon, for your time, and thank you to our listeners here today.